partner.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Belisca. Present. Mr. Comiskey.
Here.
Mr. DeSarno.
Here.
Mayor Morgan.
Here.
Mr. Kogan.
Here.
Mrs. McKnight. Here.
Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's a public meeting, Borough Council, Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with PL 1975. Chapter 231, annual notice or revision was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. Okay. Before we do anything, I want to take a moment of silence and recognize the shooting that happened in Georgia, which is certainly something that is foremost on any government's mind. I mean, the whole reason we changed the whole traffic pattern and everything else at the high school was to make sure that everybody goes through that front door. So things like this won't happen here. And I realize that a lot of it is an inconvenience for people. But the safety of our kids is more important than a little bit of inconvenience. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I need approval of minutes for August 13th, conference meeting, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, so be it. August 13th. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, so be it. Okay, correspondence, fire department, junior membership for Hunter Riley, and full membership for Raghaba Candid Badala as a full member, and we thank them for their memberships. PSE&G, hearing September 1st on gas conservation incentive program. PSE&G, annual compliance filing. JCP&L, annual compliance filing. And JCP&L, proposal for basic generation service. From Alan Swanson about the ghost train, and we filed the complaint. It wasn't really a complaint, but your letter to New Jersey Transit, and you're looking into it, and they're saying that they checked it last spring when we kept bringing it up. They said it was functioning according to their standards, but they're going to look at it again. Okay, we have council business, administration, Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor. We have resolution 2024-253. This is a resolution of the Borough of New Providence approving installation of a fence within a borough right-of-way at 41 Commonwealth Avenue. So this resolution allows Michael and Danielle Mazaka to install a fence in the borough's right-of-way, providing that it's no more than 4 feet high. It is a picket fence. No plantings are allowed on the outside of the fence facing the street, and it was agreed that the fence would be removed by the owners at their expense if we needed to access that right-of-way. If it's approved tonight, we do have an agreement that they will have to sign saying such. Okay. Resolution 2024-254 is the resolution for the adoption of a new Oprah request form pursuant to PL 2024-C16. On September 3rd, this provision was reformed and modernized. The Open Public Records Act took effect. One of the new provisions is that all of the agencies subject to Oprah must adopt the records request form created by the Government Records Council. So this was mandated by the state, and it is simply a new form that must be used when requesting open public records.
Lisa, real quick, question regarding 253. I'm assuming that resolution, our council had a chance to look at that, help craft that, I would think, right?
So the agreement, yes, I can,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I know you had some
I
input.
wrote the resolution and the agreement.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, engineering, Alex.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-255, resolution approving progress payment number 1 for Portofino Builders in the amount of $147,137.20 for the NJDOT FY 2023 Maple Street Improvement Project. So this approves the progress payment number 1 for the work that's already done on Maple Street as of August 28th. This represents about a quarter of the contracted price.
Right, finance, Diana.
Thank you, Mayor. We have Resolution 2024-256, which is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2024 budget pursuant of NJSA 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, and this is for National Opioid Settlement 2024, and it's for the amount of $1,878.38, and we're inserting that into the budget to be used for opioid remediation. This is yet another payment, and our borough has been finding excellent ways to put this money to use. Resolution 2024-257 is the resolution authorizing payment of the attached bills payable list in the amount of $3,809,794.16. Significant items. Oh my God, is that me?
I thought it was in my ears for a second.
Does anyone have their phone by the microphones?
Significant items are the Board of Education for $451,600 for the September tax levy. Horizon Health payment of $125,600 for, I'm rounding, for September medical. The New Jersey, the New Providence Library September appropriation, which is the same amount as always, $98,258.08. Depository Trust Company in the amount of $375,000 for principal payment. Depository Trust Company for an interest payment for $81,500. Depository Trust Company for $75,700, and that's for interest on another one. Suburban Disposal of, which is the July solid waste, and that's $45,333.33. Union County third quarter dispatch for $39,800. And Grand Recycling for $32,445, and that's August recycling.
Thank you. Okay, we have resolution 258, which is approving a request for the PBA to sponsor the trunk or treat on October 19th down at the pool parking lot. And resolution 259 is a requisition for highway traffic control for an amount of $1,204.93 for traffic signs on High Street. As you know, it's a lot going on over there right now, and they're trying to get ahead of the curve. Okay, Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-260, resolution approving requisition R2401832 for Rapid Pump and Meter Service Company in the amount not to exceed $14,949 for the purchase of new motor for Summit Pump number 2 at the wastewater treatment plant. Bergen County Co-op number 24-13. This is just the replacement of the Summit Pump number 2. Resolution 2024-261, resolution approving requisition R2401867 for Rapid Pump and Meter Service Company in the amount not to exceed $6,720 for low lift pump number 3 at the wastewater treatment plant, Bergen County Co-op 24-13. This approves the testing of the motor low lift pump number 3. While pump number 3 is being replaced, the 60 horsepower motor needs to be tested, and then it'll determine whether we replace or rebuild the motor. Resolution 2024-262, resolution approving Requisition R240-1705 for Campbell Foundry Company in the amount not to exceed $16,104 for catch basin grates, Morris County Co-op number 14. So this approves the purchase of catch basin grates that on the recently paved roads for Clean Communities grant money. Two more. Resolution 2024-263, resolution approving requisition R240-1850 for Rayner Group Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $3,870 for air conditioning at the DeCorso Center. This just replaces, as it reads, replaces the ACs at the DeCorso Center. Resolution 2024-264, resolution approving requisition R240-1851 for Rayner Group Incorporated, amount not to exceed $19,998 for AC unit replacement in the municipal center lobby.
All right. Committee reports. First, I want to congratulate the New Providence Pioneers for winning the Mayor's Trophy again this year. It was, score was 13-12. It was a good game. They like to give me a heart attack. Couple things going on. The police are going to have their beefsteak dinner on the 28th, and that'll be at the Packer Club. The car show will be at the pool on October 5th, which is always a good time. And we just talked about the trunk or treat down at the pool on the 19th. Tomorrow night, tomorrow's 9/11. Tomorrow night at 7:30, there will be a ceremony for remembrance of what happened 9/11. Very tough day. I know every 5 years they do a big memorial, but I think that's next year or the year after. So that's really all I have, except for I chat with the mayor on Friday night, this Friday night, and what did I forget? I forgot something. I'll think about it.
Beefsteak?
Huh?
Beefsteak, you said?
You said that?
Yeah. I usually write this down. Diane.
No, just interrupt us.
Yeah.
Historical Society has their book festival on September 21st, and the cemetery tours are also back on Saturdays at the New Providence Presbyterian Church, 9:14, 9:28, 10:05, and 10:20. And John Sponauer is our host for those. He is very talented and knowledgeable, so I encourage everybody to go to those. They are free. The Board of Health, we had our meeting, and it's always so interesting to me. Mosquito-borne illnesses are still out there, so be very careful with that. There was last year we were talking about they do a tobacco age of sale enforcement inspections. So basically, they Board of Health hires kids, and they go in and ask to purchase tobacco products.
They've been in town.
They were in town,
Yep.
and actually, our Board of Health, Westfield Board of Health, did not know that Union County was doing it, so it was like back to back, week on week. But every single establishment that our people went into in our town passed with flying colors. So it's just so interesting that these are the things that they do behind the scenes that we don't even.
Undercover teenagers.
Yeah, undercover. I mean, so so just be very careful because of the mosquitoes and different things. They will have COVID tests free at the library in the coming months, and that's about it.
Okay, Matt.
Planning board, we heard a application for a subdivision of a property on Earl Place, which is over by McDonald's. It was an old nursery, which was interesting to learn. I drove by to check it out prior to the meeting, and I saw these really cool like trees and shrubs, and it's all overgrown now, but the nursery's kind of went by the wayside. But the original owner's going to keep their house, which I thought was great. I'd love to see that, right? They just live in the house, subdivide. that corner property, and they're gonna put up a nice home there. And that was it, right? There was something else
Yeah,
there
that's
for us.
it.
Pickleball courts. We had a pre-construction meeting for pickleball courts. The construction for that should begin probably this week. It's really next week, right? I think this week the contractor Dakota was going to come over and meet and go over some walkthroughs. They're going to be accessing the site through OLP, so they're just going to check all that out and how they're going to get in and out and when they're going to be able to set up and all that good stuff. But that construction should begin this week or next. We're starting with the walking path, and then they'll do the pickleball court construction. 6 to 9 weeks for the pickleball courts. Once they're completed, depending on the weather, we'll determine whether or not they can be painted. And if it's I think it's below 50, they won't be able to be painted. So we'll have to wait until May of next year to paint the courts. However, Dakota will help facilitate striping them so that we can use them until then. That's it.
Hey, Pete,
Nothing new to report, Mayor.
now I remember, next meeting, we're gonna have a conference meeting to talk about the funding for the police department. So, anybody interested in that, please, come, and if you have any questions. Okay,
I'm glad you mentioned that. Just a little update from the engineering committees. We had a couple of meetings. Matt mentioned the pickleball courts already. Police station, we had a very productive meeting with Bernadette and Keith. Really went through all the scenarios that they've already looked at. And the next meeting, as you mentioned, Diane and I are having with Jim Testa tomorrow night to talk about his mechanism for funding, which will be shared at the next meeting.
For finance.
Finance meet, yeah. The community bridge had also a very good meeting with the engineers. That's moving along. I think one thing to consider that they raised was perhaps when the bridge is taken out, the abutments that the bridge rests on, just to plan for, we always want the best scenario, but we got to plan for the worst. So perhaps looking into a temporary bridge while the new bridge is being constructed. So I think the engineers clearly know that pathway has to be accessible, not by car, but at least for people, pedestrians and students that might be going to the school for drop-off there. So a very productive meeting, more to come. And last thing, from the Sustainability Committee, Free Cycle Fest, Sunday, 9:15, looks like it's going to be great weather. 9 o'clock. It's on the 15th of September. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Community pool parking lot. I think the committee has great volunteers. Be there, direct you where to go, and always a great event. So hope to see everybody there.
Wasn't there a plant table last year or something?
Not sure. I believe, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Montana will take care of that.
Okay, because it wasn't on the flyer, so.
okay, Lisa.
I've got a lot of plans.
Okay, the other thing I have is the beautification committee met this afternoon. They're ramping up, getting ready to send out some letters asking for donations and sponsorships for just beautifying, our public spaces. Over the past 20 years, they've really done a lot of work. They've done the holiday wreaths, the downtown lighting. They help fund sometimes the 9/11 memorial plantings. They collaborated with the DID for the holiday decor in Centennial Park. And what else? The Welcome to New Providence banners. So they've done quite a bit. And they've done all of this with selling the house signs, believe it or not. And now, everything is getting a little bit more expensive. The house signs just aren't cutting it, so they are going to go out and ask for donations. So their first agenda is to light up Centennial Park again this holiday season. Anything above and beyond that, hopefully, will go towards ongoing improvements of the park. They do have an agenda of items that they would like to see done to spruce up and improve. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can check out the beautification committee.
Oh, not to you?
Not to me.
Oh, okay.
Not to me. And just one other thing, this Saturday, We have coffee with council at Cafe Luna, and that's from 9 to 11. So come out and talk to a couple of us council folks. Ask your questions, your concerns, whatever is on your mind.
Bring your dog, meet Millie.
Bring your dog. Yeah.
Okay. Bernadette?
Thank you, Mayor. A few things on my list. South Street water main replacement. New Jersey American Water is still working nights, as we all know. They anticipate being on South Street until the end of the month. This week and next week, they will be finishing up services and the majority of the side street tie-ins. They're still testing one section of the main that's already been installed. It's not passing inspection, water sampling. So they're working to adjust whatever's going on there. That is holding them up to do the Gales Drive culvert tie-ins, though, so that's why it's kind of extended out a little bit longer than they thought they would be. They'll be tying into the existing 8-inch main across the Salt Brook. No jack and bore will take place across this, across the Salt Brook in Veterans Park. They just don't have the funding to pursue the design and permits in the time they want to kind of wrap up this project. So the 2 tie-ins for the Salt Brook crossing should be completed, though, the last week in September. We had a meeting with CRJ and the New Jersey American Water. They're going to restore South Street to some sense of normal prior to the winter, but they'll actually come and mill and pave in the spring once the quarries open back up for the springtime. Pickleball, as Councilman Comiskey mentioned, Dakota was here. They're mobilizing equipment this week. DPW was over at the park yesterday, trimming back the overhung trees on the walking path and the tennis courts. They also removed the fencing, shrubs, and a tree that was by the hitting wall. They had to be removed to make room for the lighting stanchions and the actual courts that will be placed over on that side. Access to the site has been granted to us graciously by Our Lady of Peace Church, so I would like to thank Father Francisco for allowing us to do that. Construction vehicles will be entering in the corner between the OLP property and the Board of Ed property by the baseball field, and it's already been coned off so that we won't be interfering with any of the teachers at the church. Construction is anticipated to begin next week, weather permitting, and it should take 5-6 weeks to finish to completion. And as Councilman Comiskey mentioned, they are starting with the walking path, and as we move down, they'll let us know so we can communicate to the community what areas, not that they're not open, but maybe a little bit more walking hazards. Pool bridge replacement, bids are out to the 2 contractors now. They're due back on September 26th. We're looking to award the contract at the October 8th council meeting. And last but not least, Maple Street, drainage and sidewalks are complete. I spoke with our engineer today. They're waiting on Portofino for a paving schedule. It's anticipated that milling and paving will occur after 4 p.m. So we've kind of let the contractor know it doesn't exactly have to be overnight, but it certainly can't be during the middle of the day. So 4 p.m. and they have to finish paving before October 11th because the quarries generally shut down around that time. So once we have additional information, I'll put it out there for everybody. That's it.
Have we heard anything more about the Snake River Bridge?
Nothing.
It's hot and cold.
The last time we heard nothing, there was litigation, so I don't know what's going on.
Not that I'm in any rush, but one thing I did want to say is that I was talking to Ralph the other day. In the past 2 years, we have paved 88 roads in town. That's unbelievable. 3/4 of the town has been repaved in the last 2 years. Bernadette, I want to thank you and Marie and DPW. I know you guys work diligently to work with the utilities companies to get this done. And I know it's been an inconvenience for a lot of people, but, you know, thankfully we got it all done. Okay, at this time we have public hearing. Anybody wishing to address council? raise their hand. Yes, Alan?
Hi, Alan Swanson, 47 Overhill Road. Thank you for sending in the complaint. It's at New Jersey Transit. Is it possible to have a copy of that so I can keep my file going, so when I go down there with my protest signs, I'll have all the information?
Sure, you can also lodge your own complaint. It doesn't have to go through us, you can.
No,
put
I
your
know.
own in.
I just would like to just say, to reinforce what, I didn't do that yet because I wanted to go through your route first, but I definitely am not going to be finished with them because honestly, as I said in the letter, I lived there for 10 years, 2 houses down from the crossing, and it never functioned this way. So any person who's saying it's functioning properly needs their head examined. Okay. I wanted to give you a little information piece that should be of interest to you. It has to do with the Clark Reservoir. And the reason I bring it up is that the Clark Reservoir was a reservoir constructed many years ago. It was actually used as a reservoir, but it was abandoned as such decades ago, and it was taken over by the county. And what happened was the county owned the property and decided, a few years ago, 3 years ago or so, we want to develop this property. And then 2 years ago, they said, we're going to develop it. We're going to get our engineering outfit to get out there and give us a whole plan. Well, the plan that they came up with was to basically destroy the largest function of the largest area of the forested area with relatively, for New Jersey, old growth forest, and make it into an amusement park, complete with carousel, synthetic, plastic ice skating rink, clock tower, piers, on and on and on, and a large parking area and a concession stand and what have you. And I got involved because people contacted me and said, through the Sierra Club, said, can you do anything? You know, and so normally when these things come, it's a done deal. I mean, so I've gone to these things where they've gone and said, we need to save the forest, and I've gone there and the forest was cut down already. Anyway, so I went out there, and I thought definitely it's a done deal because the survey stakes were out. They'd obviously brought in equipment to do the surveying and to put the stakes out as to where they were going to do all this, and I'm just like, this is not going to happen. And then things changed around. I went to the July 2nd meeting, and I spoke at the meeting, just a listening session meeting. And what happened was there were a group of citizens that got involved in this, and they developed a committee, and this committee was fantastic, a grassroots effort that really took a good, hard look at this. And the thing that was so astonishing was that they'd been talking about this, and many of the people on the committee who lived right where they were going to be putting in asphalt walking paths didn't know that the project was even planned until the surveyors came and said, oh, by the way, your fence is on county property, you're going to have to move it. So it was really quite outrageous. And this group, to make a long story short, worked very hard. You know, I went down and helped them out, and I actually contacted the Sustainability Committee here, and I contacted the environmental commissions across the county to say you need to be concerned about this, not only because this is really not so good for the forested, little bit of forested area we really have left in someplace like Clark, but that the county went ahead and just sort of did put this in without really consulting the way they should with the town. And the town, unfortunately, was, well, we can't do anything about it, it's county property. Well, the citizens that met in the house next to the pond, one of the 4 ponds, did it. Were reasonable, had an alternative plan that was a really good plan, presented it with respect to the county. I went and spoke to the county, and all of them were very respectful. Amusement park, gone. I mean, they're going to do a little bit of development, but they're going to maintain the pathway that they were going to put all the way around all of the things. It was going to be asphalt. It's totally cut back. It's going to be wood chips or something that's environmentally. They said that we're going to protect the environment. We're not going to take down this forest. So it's just really one of these real great grassroots efforts. And the reason that I bring it up here is I don't know how much county property, how much of the property in New Providence the county owns, but one of the things that I said to the Environmental Commission people when I wrote the letters was, you need to keep on the county to watch what they're doing, because who knows what they're planning for the property that's in your town that you don't even know about or they're not even telling you about. So that's why I bring it up, just as an instructive thing, and it's just something that I thought was really just a great experience to see these people. It was really the people that did this. They were just fantastic. So anyway, that's all I had.
Okay.
And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just say, Alan, 15 years ago, actually this November, the county offered to buy Oakwood Park, one of our largest assets in
Yeah,
town.
I'm aware of that, yeah.
And we had a little grassroots effort in town with a lot of residents that pushed back on that. This room was packed for meeting after meeting after meeting. And there was a lot of people for it and a lot of people against it. And the council heard the people, put it on a referendum, and allowed the people to vote on whether or not we should sell that park to the county. We shot it down 2-1. We own that park today. And I think, in my opinion, is one of the best decisions that we've made in terms of our parks and fields. It's a gorgeous park. We paid for it. Taxpayers paid for it. And it came out wonderful, right? And it's not it literally was planned to be 100% turf, wall-to-wall, 4,000 square foot field house in the middle. And today we got a turf field, we got a partially turf field, we got a grass outfield, we still got the pond, we got some walking paths, right? So
And
Playground.
and full control of
and
the.
we own it, and we have full control of it. So, thank you for bringing it up, because honestly, I've been thinking about that. It's 15 years. It was 15 years ago this November. So, and I think it's important, and I think it's important to all of us too, that that we do listen to the residents, right? In that instance, and allow them to make decisions that are in the best interest of the borough.
Well, as I mentioned, the thing that was a little disturbing to me was that the town of Clark really were not participants with the citizens of the town, and there was not. When I spoke on July 2nd, I didn't have anything prepared. I was signed up as number 32. I was next to last, and they extended the meeting a little bit because we only have 2 left. And when I got up, I basically said, talking about packed, this room would have been out filled in the hall from what it was there in Clark. And I pointed out that not one, I'm number 32, and not one person that had gotten up there and spoken to them said, yeah, we like this idea. So they were they were definitely at a disadvantage. And the thing about it was the people were all so respectful and we're in the right was the thing, you know. So it's a little bit different, but what's encouraging is that, you know, that you were involved in the. I anticipate that you would be involved in anything that's going to be coming down. Believe me.
The county owns very little land here.
I know that. Yes.
All the woods along Oakwood Park to the Summit line is owned by the Borough of New Providence. The other side, on the other side of Charnwood, down by Central Avenue, was owned by the county. So,
yeah, I don't anticipate they're going to be throwing any amusement parks in those areas. So, all right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. I need a motion for items 1 through 12.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Belisca?
Aye.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mr. Gisarno?
Aye.
Mr. Kogan?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, so be it. Thank you everybody for coming, and Summer's over, so, you know,
Not yet.
getting back to the norm.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over when I.